So DAX Studio is a freeware. You can go and search in the internet and download it and install it. Its installation is very, very simple. And once you install the DAX Studio successfully, you need to launch it. When you launch it, you have different options. You need to select Power BI and make sure that you have already opened, report files. Let's say if you have opened two report files, it will show two report files. In this case, we have opened only one report file. Now, what I say to the DAX Studio is, hey, you connect to my Power BI report file, top and rank summarize. Connect to my report file. When I click on this, what will happen is it will go and download the model here, but unfortunately, following it while updating condition, an item, same key has already been an item. There is something wrong here. I need to check here. This is really helpful in terms of performance tuning, all the things, okay? And I'm not sure why it's not, I think there is some issue here. It's not loading it. Maybe version problem or, some other thing here, okay? This is DMV is different and here it should show the model. And I click on new here and connect it. Establishing connection following error while updating the connection item in the same case already been added. I don't know, maybe they have done something. I don't know. 1 second. Yeah, I just click on it. Sometimes when you open it more than, yeah, it's not loading the model. Model in the sense, all the tables, whatever you used it, right? So usually what will happen is, whatever tables that you used in even in this report file, that one, will show that there once you connect it there. Maybe because of the latest version of Power BI, is that not doing that? I don't know. Oh, maybe this guy is right. What I'm thinking, right? So in the previous version, only three icons were there. Now they included DAX query view. Okay. DAX query view. Maybe because of that, they are not allowing, it seems. Anyhow, I will confirm that, after I check it in the Google. Okay. So previously we used to use the DAX studio to run your queries there. Okay. For example, summarize. There is a summarize function. It is something like a group by function. Okay. Okay, what I will do is I will 1 second, I'll just go to the notepad plus plus. Okay, and here somewhere I will just copy paste all the queries that I used it in the previous thing. I just go here, I just select evaluate, summarize. Since it is available here, and that is what I suddenly it's striking in my mind. Something wrong here. Okay, I just put it here. Okay. And I'm going to select this one and then I'm going to click on run. Even I'm completely new one to this one. This is the first time because this is the latest version of Power BI desktop. And I selected this one, evaluate. Okay, super. Okay, you don't need DAX today here. So very good. So they have used, they introduced something called DAX icon here. Here itself, you can execute the DAX Studio related command. So whenever you execute any function, right, calculate function, so you need to prefix with evaluate. That's all. And then you select this one, click on run. So what happens here is, in the summarize function, the first argument is your table name. Second argument is your column name. Sorry, the group by column. Which column you want to group by it? How many of you remember group by, which I taught you as per a Power Query Editor? What is group by does? For example, in the Oceana, you have 10 records. So instead of, this is, this is the total sales. Okay. In the Oceana, let's say you have 100 records. Each records you have 100, 200, 1 lakh, 5 lakh, something. All the transaction data, when you add it together, this is the aggregated value, summarized value. In Oceania, all the transaction put together, what is the total sales? In central region, all the transaction put together, what is the total sales? That is what displays. I already explained. Anyhow, I will explain it, but don't expect, this much of courtesy from Americans. Believe me, when I asked first time, and how do I access the, the sandbox, they escalated it. Oceania, you have something like 100, and you have another thing, Oceania, let's say, 1 lakh or 100,000. Okay, and then again Oceania. Okay, and here you have 2 lakh, 3 lakh, let's assume that when you do aggregation, what will happen? Only one record, right? Oceania, 3 lakh and 101. Sorry, 30101, right? 300. Yeah, 3 lakh 101. It adds all the three values. This is called summarized value, right? So all the transactions, it applied the sum function on this sales column, and it so it summed this one, and then in this case, what happened? This is kind of a group by column. Which column you want to go. You have a lot of columns, right? Region column. Here I have, this is a group by column. This is the aggregation function. Sum of sales. Okay, group by. Whenever you use group by, you have to use sum. This is applicable in the SQL, server development also. When you write SQL server query, remember that whenever you use group by, you have to use an aggregation function. It could be either sum or average or minimum or maximum. Okay. The same thing. How do you write it in SQL query? Select region, sum of sales, and from the sales underscore W04 and group by region. Okay, group by region. That's why I said, this is nothing but second argument is the column which you want to group by it, that you need to specify it here. And then the sum of sales, that is the one it says. Here we use alias, right? As something like total sales. That is the one we mentioned. This is alias. This is your aggregation function. This is your group by column. Okay. I related this one. Importantly, you need to watch this video. Okay. So the summarize function is nothing but group by function, right? It does the group by. In this case, I wanted to see each region, what is the total sales. Okay. So the group by column is region, and the aggregation one is sum, is an alias for this. That's all, guys. This is what you were saying. Good that, see, yeah, it's promise. Okay, this is the first time I'm trying the DAX here in the latest version. Okay, previously we used to go and try it on DAX Studio. What they did, right? Why you need to use other external thing? Why don't you use this? But in the DAX Studio, the advantage was, it helps you to understand how much time this query takes to, fetch the data. You can check the execution time. Supposing this takes more time, try alternate in a DAX query, rewrite the DAX query, and then execute it. Whichever query produces the output in a pretty fast manner, that is what the best query. Okay, fine-tuned query. Okay. Look here, we have something that's called summarize columns. I just give it a try. Let me see if this one, yeah, superb. So the summarize columns, here we have summarize, but here summarize columns. The summarize function takes the first argument of the table, whereas as the name suggests columns, you can directly specify the column name, group by column name, and then sum of sales totals. That's all. You don't need to specify the first argument of the table. That is what summarize columns. Very good. I just move down here further. And yeah, the same thing. And you have something that's called roll up. I'm not sure if the roll up is going to work here. Roll up is something like a subtotal. Look here, I just select, I'm going to hit run button. Yeah, superb, right? Here, look here in the summarize function, the first argument supposed to be a table name. And then the second one, I have used the roll up. In this case, what I mentioned, the region and segment column, you need to do group by. Okay, and here, count function, the aggregation function is not sum. I have used the count here. And then, count the number of orders that we received it. Okay, order ID. You can see that in the corporate segment in Oceania region, we have received 605 orders, comma, and we have something like is subtotal function. It's a DAX function. And on the segment column, I used it. Okay, and if you see here segment subtotal, there is a separate column got created here. It shows false, true. Wherever you see true, that means, right, from there, the subtotal got displayed. Look here, in the Oceania region, what is the total sales we made? Okay, so in the Oceania, 605 and 205, right? So all the things it is getting added, and it says, the Oceania, it's a subtotal. See, apart from the grand total, if you want to see the subtotal by segment, okay, it shows that one also, right? And what is this? Why I need this column? Okay, count gives me total number of records. So in each region and each segment, what is the how many number of the orders that we received? Fine. So what is this false? False. So if you see false here, that means here the subtotal is not started. Okay. And if you scroll down here and wherever you see true here, this is where the subtotal starts here. In Oceania, what is the total number? What is the total number of orders we received? In Central region, what are the total number of orders that we received it? In Africa, what is the total number of orders we received it? Okay, the true will help you to understand where the subtotal starts. And then if you scroll down, you can see at the end, this is your grand total, subtotal grand total. So with the help of roll up, you can do the group by, as well as you can generate the subtotal along with apart from the grand total. That is what the roll up function. The interview they'll ask you what is summarize function. Summarize function using which you can do group by. Okay, and what is summarize columns? In the case of summarize columns, instead of using the table as a first argument, we can use the column name directly and then sum function. The summarize function is basically a group by function. Whenever you use group by, you have to use any aggregation function, sum or count or whatever, you can use it. That is the thing, right? Very easy to remember. Next one is the roll up function. You can use it as part of your summarize function. Roll up, the advantage of roll up is, right, inside that you can specify more than one column. Based on the two column, you do group by, and then what you do is, see in this case, the Oceania region in the corporate segment, do find out all the transaction put together, what is the total orders that we received. Okay, that is what it shows here. Instead of sum, I use count. I deliberately use count function. Okay, all the time sum only that one will get stored in your brain. That's why I use count also in aggregate function. Each subtotal is for our verification. Okay, where the true displays here, that means that is where the subtotal displayed. At the bottom, if you see, right, here also it true, but here there is no region here, but that means, right, this is the grand total. All these things put together, this many number of orders that we received. I'll share this summarize function, summarize columns function, and roll up function that I used it. And yeah, that's all. That's pretty much about but make sure that, each DAX function surrounded by evaluate. Okay, evaluate and open and closed parenthesis, you can use it. And the fact sales, I don't think so that is available here. Yeah, in this case, I did not use fact, only sales W04 is there. I'll share this report file, and I explained you in the DAX core review how to, so, type the or copy paste this, and whatever I send it, right, you copy paste it here, click on run, it'll get. But make sure that you are correctly copy paste it, and then you select the specific thing and click on run. But not necessarily look here. Follow the evaluate. You need not to give open and close parenthesis directly. You simply give evaluate and you give this one. Let me see if I remove the evaluate, does it works? Look here, everything underlined with red color. That means without evaluate, it will not get evaluated. Okay, it will not get executed. Evaluate is important, and before that, okay. But is there any way can I use the same thing instead of using the DAX view? Can I use it here? Yes. So the summarize function returns a table, isn't it? Because it takes the first argument is the table. Hence, click on the modeling ribbon, click on the new table. Here, people will tend to get confused. Sometimes this guy clicks on new measure, sometimes he clicks on new table. And, why should I? This is a confusion, right? Best thing, the DAX query view. Here, only one place you can create a measure, test it. You can, create the table, right? So the function that returns a table, right? You can use it there. Okay, here they summarize, for example, group by the region, and here I just press enter. Okay, because this is the one return the table, right? When you see this one table kind of output, it was not returning a single value, it got created. Okay, no error. And then you go to the table view and then look here, This is the one got selected by default. Group by region, that is a table, right? The summarize function returned a table. That table contains these two columns. You can see this. So this is another way of doing it. But here the group by region became part of your model. It created a table as part of your, but whereas here what happened? Temporarily it created it here, right? You can see, hey, don't create tables. I just want to check whether this query is working fine or not. And again, you don't have that confusion, right? The summarize function, do I need to click on the new table or new measure? You don't have to worry about that. See, whether it's a table, whether a function it is a table or whether a function returns a scalar value, everything works in a single place. That is what your DAX query. Since this feature was not available, we were using DAX Studio. But apart from this, the performance, and let me see if anything they included here. Format query and replace command copilot preview. So, okay, DAX queries command palette, replace, find, uncomment. Yeah, here they did not give the this one. What is that? They did not give the time, how much it takes to execute this. And I think because of the DAX query view they included here, they are not allowing us to connect it from the DAX Studio. Okay. Okay, we are done. I explained everything, but you need to watch, whatever I taught you carefully. So, but though it seems, little bit difficult for you to understand, but once you get into the project, it will be very, very tough to understand. And especially